Hey guys, Bree here from MichowaCrochet, and I thought today let's talk about how AI is popping up everywhere in the crochet communities. I'm seeing on Facebook, Instagram, Ravelry. I mean, I'm seeing it everywhere. Like, I feel like I can't get away from AI, like in the crochet world right now. It's just super duper everywhere. That and the Taylor Swift sweater, but that's a different tangent for a different day. Anyways, though, I want to talk about just a few of the ways you can kind of spot AI, and I'm going to show you some images that I generated in one of the AI generators and show you how we know that they're not real. So let's get into that. Now, before we get too deep in, I do want to say that I think AI could be very helpful and fun in the crochet world. But I think it's very important that we're telling people, like when something's AI. Like, I mean, it's pretty much implied when you put up a picture that, like, it's a crocheted item. But I think when it's AI, I think you kind of need to tell people. Because I've seen a lot of people on Facebook and on, like, Instagram and stuff asking for, you know, like, showing a pattern of something and saying, hey, how do I make this? Or, hey, does anybody have a pattern for this? Thinking it's a real, like, actual physical crochet product, not something generated by AI. And then those people are very disappointed when people are, you know, constantly going ahead and commenting, it's AI, it's not real. And I mean, some of those people I've seen get kind of hostile or very defensive, which is such a bummer that in this world that, like, it's hard to tell the difference between, you know, reality and augmented reality. It's making it very hard too on crocheters in many ways. Like, if you're trying to sell a pattern, I feel like if your pictures look too good, somebody's questioning, is that really, you know, is that really a pattern? It's got to be very hard when you're selling your patterns or your stuffies. I mean, if you're talented, you do a good job, like, sometimes I'm questioning if it's real or not because it seems too perfect. So let's just, you know, back up a little bit and let's talk about some of the things. Like, I went ahead and I put some prompts into, like, different AI generators on the internet just to see, like, what they would come up with. And the first prompt I did, I said crochet baby doll, and I got this image here. Now, this is such a cute little baby doll. Like, I think it's super adorable. Yeah, and I'm inspired by it because it looks like a very basic, very achievable doll that could be made. Like, even if you didn't have a pattern, I mean, we're talking about very basic shapes. And, you know, like, not a ton of shaping. This could be very easy to make. Now, when I look at it, though, how I know that it's not real is the fact of it's got a bit of, like, a haze to it. Like, all yarn has, like, a teeny tiny bit of a halo. I mean, it's never perfectly smooth. There's always a little fibrous bits sticking off to some extent, but this baby looks extremely fuzzy. Now, if you've ever gone ahead and crocheted something and then you take one of those wiry, like, dog brushes and you brush it, you can make it, you know, you can create an even bigger halo, make something look fluffier and fuzzier. And that's what this kind of looks like to me, which makes me think that even though I know it's an AI image, it makes me think that, you know, I could make something that probably looks pretty darn close to identical to this. But it's one of those things where if I hadn't generated that, I would have possibly, like, been on the fence of, is this AI or is this real? So that's just, like, it's something to kind of look for. Is it, look, to something to kind of look for is, does it have, like, a weird halo to it? I mean, we all know as crocheters what a normal little bit of a halo looks like in yarn, but if it looks extremely fuzzy or if it looks kind of, like, blurry, I'm seeing areas of crochet images where, like, it's like one little area is, like, blurry, and it's like, if most of the picture is, like, perfectly clear looking, and then you have, like, one little bit that looks really blurry, that seems kind of like a tell to me that it may be AI. So let's move on to the next one, because I found some pretty funny ones. Okay, for one, like with the Taylor Swift sweater going around, I thought, you know, that should be a fairly easy one because it's so common right now. I mean, I'm seeing all sorts of videos that everybody's making the Taylor Swift sweater dress, and it's really cute. And like, I'm seeing people that are making ones that look so like perfect. Like they have the perfect stitching, they have the perfect like colored yarn. I mean, really, really good. And so I thought, well, AI should be able to do that because I mean, I'm literally seeing people recreate that dress in real life. So AI should be able to handle that, right? So I put in, you know, crocheted Taylor Swift sweater dress. This was the first thing I got. And this one's kind of comical to me from the standpoint that, like, were they trying to make it look like it's Taylor Swift, but they can't use her exact image, so they had to kind of blur out the face, because the face in this one is just, it's spooky. It's a little spooky. But this one kind of cracked me up for that reason. And the other image, so I thought, well, this isn't a great one. Let's give it another try. So, you know, I hit the little button to generate a new image, and I got this one that has 3 arms. Like, it definitely is kind of, say, Taylor Swift-ish. I mean, it's somewhere of, like, a similar body other than, you know, the 3-arm thing. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't ever seen Taylor in concert. Maybe she has 3 arms. What do I know? I'm guessing she doesn't, though. But anyway, so this one with the 3 arms, I mean, that's pretty obvious that there's something not right there. You know, some things are very obvious like that. And then some you have to pay a little bit closer attention, like this elephant. So I thought an elephant would be quite fun. A lot of people, you know, crocheted elephants. I've crocheted an elephant lovey. About 3 or 4 years ago, somebody had asked me to make one. Elephants seem to be a very common thing to crochet. So when I put in crochet elephant, and I got this image where he has 3 legs and maybe a 4th leg on the back side that looks like it's lifted up like he's trying to pee on a fire hydrant, I thought, you almost had me. Like, the idea that there's like a leg sticking out where there shouldn't be a leg sticking out, unless there was a little fire hydrant under it. If there was a fire hydrant under it, maybe they could have got me a little bit. But the idea of this one, that it's got like 3 regular legs and then this one leg that's like cocked up in the air, yeah. And I'm seeing that a lot too. Like, if you Google like giant crochet elephant, there's an elephant that's huge, like a full size, like life size elephant, and it's got 5 legs. And like the person is kind of wonky looking, but I mean, if you're not looking real close at it, you'd be like, wow, this person, they, you know, created this incredible feat of making this life size elephant. But it's got 5 legs. Like, I think most of us have probably seen that one going around, and if you haven't, it's an easy one to Google and find. So, my like number one thing though, how I'm judging things to try and figure out if they are AI or if they are like a legitimate crochet product, is, does it look too good to be true? Because some of the things, like the stitching is just so perfect, and you can't tell me that, you know, these people are making these amazing pieces and they haven't had their hook slip a little bit, where they've split the yarn a tiny bit, or like a stitch doesn't sit perfectly. I mean, when you're looking at these images and when you're looking at these images and the stitches are so perfectly in line, like there isn't one stitch that's just a little wonky looking, like that, to me, I'm questioning if it's real or not. Now, if you're somebody who's creating like gorgeous things and they're perfect and every stitch is absolutely perfect, I think that's great. But if something's too perfect, I'm kind of like questioning if it's real or not, because real life just isn't that perfect. I mean, crocheting things isn't that perfect. And so, like, I put in crochet woodland critter, and this is what I got. And this image is so good. Like, everything is just like, the stitches all look so nicely lined up, and the colors that are chosen are great together. Now, I think that this is a great image that could be like very inspirational if you want to make something like that. because I mean it is computer generated. This image does not belong to a particular person, I guess, other than the person that came up with the prompt and generated it. This is not legal advice, by the way. But this one is very cool, and I mean, even if you didn't really exactly like the critter, I'm really inspired by the colors. Like, the colors that they chose to put together are great. Like, they've got just this really nice, it kind of gives me like this like woodsy, like earthy feel, and I love the colors together, and I think that is so great. But I think that it's one of those things where it's so easy to get sucked into something and think it's real, and then kind of find out total hoax. So I kind of wanted to talk about AI a little bit, and I wondered, like, I've watched a few videos around, YouTube and stuff, but I'm wondering, like, what is like a tell for you that something is AI generated and not actually crochet? So I would love to hear from you, because I mean, I'm telling you, I think it's getting harder and harder every day to kind of figure it out. And I mean, even if you've been crocheting a long time, I mean, it can be really confusing. I mean, I was fooled by, if you saw, it was like an older woman and she was in like a Batman kind of cape and hat. If you've seen that image, that one, like, if I wasn't looking real close at it, I thought for a second it was real, and because it was just so good. But then I'm looking at it and I thought it was knitted, so I wasn't looking too closely at the stitches. But then I started noticing things like by the arm, it kind of looks like it could unravel. Like, it doesn't look like it's finished. And then I'm looking at it a little bit more, and I mean, the more you look at it, eventually you can pick any picture apart. Even if it's real crochet, you can pick it apart and think it's AI, or you can pick apart an AI picture and think it's real. It is getting hard out there. So this week, I would love to have you tell me in the comments, what are some ways that you yourself can tell if something is AI generated or that it is an actual real crochet item. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Make sure you like, and if you enjoy this, share it. And I will be back next week to talk about something new, crochet related, of course. But until then, take care.